I'm going with Terrence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, you know, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
Max Kellerman picks Crawford over Canelo. Kellerman says Canelo's slick defense is fading, giving Crawford the edge in jabs and defense. No one's untouchable, he adds. This could be the difference in a potential showdown.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit.
Max Kellerman gives Crawford the edge in jab and defense, noting Canelo hasn't been that defensive force in years. He adds that no one, defender or not, is immune to getting hit, as he breaks down the tactical edges of both fighters.
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But you know, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Kellerman notes Canelo has improved at cutting off the ring, but struggled with it early in his career. Despite his progress, Kellerman believes Crawford still holds the tactical edge, with the ability to wear Canelo down and outthink him.
What Canelo has is size. Size and, as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Kellerman credits Canelo's size, power, and granite chin, noting how intimidating he is in the ring. He highlights Canelo's shift from slick counterpuncher to a seek and destroy style, then compares his evolution to Crawford's recent sharp tactical performances.
But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford.
Okay.
But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah.
Kellerman says Canelo's ring cutting has improved, especially at super middleweight, but wasn't sharp in his last fight. While Crawford holds the edge in skill and form, Canelo's size and power remain a major threat. It's a classic battle of skill versus strength. Can Crawford's precision outmatch Canelo's power? Crawford's trainer Bomac believes so.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely confident that he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team, so you know the world can see once again why he considered the best pound for pound fighter in the world. I don't think there's no pressure on Terrence because Terrence gonna fight the way that he's used to fighting. So by saying all that stuff that Turkey say or anybody else say, that doesn't bother Terrence not one bit. You know, we train for one way, the way we're going to fight, and that's the way we're going to get the job done.
Roy Jones Jr. sees hunger in Crawford, saying he's ready and determined to seize this long-awaited moment and win.
What I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford, a Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab the opportunity.
Roy Jones Jr. says mind games and weight don't matter. It's all about skill. He believes Crawford's technical ability makes size irrelevant in this fight.
When you know how to box, when you're as skillful as Terrence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much. Only thing that matters with the weight is can you take the punch. And I'm sure you've been sparring with super middles and light heavies, so I'm sure you probably can take the punch. So that's the only thing when you got skill. Now, if you don't have a skill, you can't take it up because you're gonna lose your punch, you're gonna lose everything. When you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT. I went out with a heavyweight.
Roy Jones Jr. admits Canelo may not be as hungry as Crawford, but praises him for always chasing big fights to entertain fans. He warns that if Canelo strays from his game plan, it could cost him in the ring.
If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terrence can take his punch.
Roy Jones Jr. doubts Canelo can still adapt his game, saying the fight hinges on whether Crawford can take Canelo's power. If he can, Roy believes Crawford's toughness could be the deciding factor. He adds that Crawford feels no outside pressure. He'll stick to his style, stay focused, and follow the game plan he and Bomac have worked hard to perfect.
I think their fans are going to be surprised when he dismantled Canelo. You know, the more time goes on, the more time Terrence can settle into that weight, the worse it's off for the opponent.
Bomac believes Crawford will grow more comfortable at the weight as the fight goes on, making him even more dangerous. Once he settles in, he says, it could be all downhill for Canelo.
I don't know, we gotta see come fight night. We can't predict the things that's gonna be a challenge for us because we never been in the ring with him. So
Crawford admits he can't predict all challenges since it's his first fight with Canelo. Staying humble, he's ready to adapt in real time and rise to any test. He respects Canelo, but is fully focused on winning.
I'm a big Canelo fan. You know, this is business. You know, like I said in the last press conference, I'm coming to take everything we got.
Crawford admits he's a big Canelo fan, but says business comes first in the ring. He's determined to take everything from Canelo, fighting for victory, legacy, and to prove he's the best. The weight difference doesn't bother him. He's about to do what no fighter has done before.
Well, I've been thinking about this fight before I moved up to 154. You know, like I said, I want to go straight from 147 to 168 because, you know, it never been done before. Fighters have went up 2 weight classes, but I don't think any fighter have went from 147 to 168 to fight pound for pound top 5 fighter like Canelo in the history of the sport of boxing.
Crawford reveals he planned this fight long before moving to 154 pounds, aiming to jump from 147 to 168, a historic leap in boxing. Weight doesn't matter to him. It's about making history and proving he can face any challenge. Shane Mosley, who also fought Canelo, highlights how tough moving up in weight can be.
So now, you know, he goes to 160, he's fighting all these, you know, Golovkins, all the guys, and he goes 168, fight a lot of guys, you know, then, you know, going to 175, you know, a little too big, but not back down to 68. And a lot of times, like even for me, going to 54, it slows you down.
Yes.
It slows down your the way, and it can take away some of your power too. Like this is the first time that you're entering 168. You've been in the 154 one time. You've been in the 47 your whole career, 154 one time, and then you go to 168. Like, it's kind of hard. And I take nothing away from Crawford because I know Crawford, he's a great fighter, and he's capable of fighting a guy like Canelo on that mental level or on that stage. Like they are compatible when it comes to their skill level. If you understand, if that makes sense, right? They're compatible with that.
Mosley acknowledges moving up to 168 is a big step for Crawford, mostly a 147 fighter with brief time at 154. Still, he's confident Crawford can match Canelo's skill and mindset. Mosley breaks down the key difference between them, how weight factors into their fight.
They both have, you know, knowledge about the sport. They're both, you know, veterans of the sport.
Yeah.
So the difference is going to be is the weight. Crawford might not believe that right now, but he will when he gets in the ring. The difference is the weight. The weight is, if there's a 154, it would be a good little scrap. That would be more of an even fight if Canelo was still 54 back in the day, maybe. That would be like an even fight to me.
Yeah.
But now that Canelo's been at 68, 75, he's been 60 for a long time. I mean, he's been fighting this weight class for a long time. It's not like he just got there.
Yeah, he's comfortable.
He's comfortable. And he's going, he's fighting 68, which is really more of his weight class than 75.
Mosley says both fighters are skilled and experienced, but weight is the key factor. At 154, it'd be closer, but Canelo's comfort at 160 to 168 gives him an edge. Crawford will face a tough challenge adapting to the higher weight.
But now, man, I mean, it's going to be very hard for Crawford to do something. I mean, to get something done, which he can because they have the height and all that stuff, but it's going to be so hard. And I just can't see it. I mean, anything can happen because it's a fight, and you can never count anybody out. Never.
Mosley says Crawford has the height and chance, but Canelo's comfort at higher weights is a tough mountain to climb. He highlights the challenge of Crawford moving up in weight and facing Canelo's strength.
Crawford's very strong physically. He has great physical strength. Natural strength, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's how I was able to move to 54 and go up different weight classes to be able to work with, let's say, like Fernando Vargas, whoever else that was a 54.
Yeah.
But naturally, I'm really a 47 pounder. I think more so Crawford naturally was a 47 pounder and maybe can grow at 54 because he's a little bit bigger, but 68, and you need some time to be there. I think that he's improved a lot. Okay, so I think the skill levels probably are on the same page.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The skill levels are on the same page.
Yeah.
But I think that what's taken away from Terence Crawford is going to be the weight class. It's going to be the weight. It's going to be the weight because he's never fought there before. And then we see him going to 54. Majimov is pretty good, but what's going to beat Majimov too? So, I mean,
Mosley says Canelo and Crawford are equally skilled, but the weight difference is Crawford's biggest challenge. Moving up to 168 against a bigger, experienced Canelo could be tough. He also highlights Canelo's sharp counterpunching that surprises opponents.
Well, Canelo's a very quick counterpuncher, and that's where you notice that even with the fighters right now, they'll run around, run away from him or whatever, but then when they start fighting him, that's when they get caught. When they start trying to fight back, because there has to be a point in the fight where you're gonna fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to sit there and fight. There's gonna be a point where you have to fight. There's gonna be a point where you're gonna get touched.
Crawford versus Canelo is set to be epic. Crawford's skill and mindset are top tier, but can he handle Canelo's power and experience at 168? It's speed versus strength, precision versus pressure. Who's making history? Drop your prediction and subscribe for more breakdown.